Day 37 of the fast, 7:06 p.m., March 8th, 2024. 37 days ago, I decided to go on an instant gratification and sugar fast for 4 months. Details will be in the description. Today, I went to the cafe. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hoping to see that girl there. I'll see what I can do tomorrow. I'm not against drawing on Sabbath anymore because I honestly feel like that is how I spend time with God. At least one of the ways. It could definitely make more time to learn about Him. But overall, progress in pretty much every area has been good. I was able to get a lot of drawing done. Today was a very busy day. Because I actually showed that dude. I pretty much showed I showed this guy his drawing and I showed this guy his drawing, and they were both pretty pleased with it. In a way, I feel like that's probably the best compliment you can give someone. They Hell, if somebody drew me, I'd probably take that as a good compliment. But yeah, today was a productive day. I worked on this pretty much all day. I tried to squeeze out a little more, but I might still do it. But there is also another thing that I said I would do by today. I said that I would create a diet plan starting for next week by today. Today isn't over yet, so I still think I can plan it out. Some notes is while I have been using my phone as a resource for knowledge to implement, I feel like I've been on it too much. I'm still within the rules of my fast, but I want to be on my phone a lot less moving forward. And I still, yeah. But I have a skeleton for the diet. Turns out one of my coworkers, his dad was a bodybuilder, so I was able to ask him some stuff. He basically gave me the skeleton of what a good meal plan for my body type would be for the goals I want to achieve. And also said that this would probably help the energy problem I've been having. Since essentially the theme is that he said it would give my body time to process the nutrients I'm putting into it instead of just having it sit there, which is probably what's causing me to be more tired. He said 5 small meals throughout the day would probably work. I just have to plan them out. Make sure I'm eating my green vegetables, of course. Gave me some tips on what to eat to help me out. And I think with that information, I could probably form a pretty good meal plan. I'm real tired, so just bear with me. But tomorrow is Sabbath day, so I gotta make sure everything is done. You gotta post the ads on Craigslist. I forgot to I'm gonna have to wait on that because I need pictures of it in daylight. But I'll post the ads on Craigslist tomorrow for the cars because the guys didn't come get it. So yeah. And I could have a good diet to stand by. with this over time. And I also have an event to plan for. Should go check this place out. Maybe I'll go check that out tomorrow. And I'm also going to get a haircut tomorrow because my hair is getting out of control. But overall, everything's been going pretty well. I don't really have too many complaints. Tomorrow, in my weekly overview, we're trying to think about it more deeply. But I think everything is going pretty well. So I'm just going to keep showing up to the task. And with that, I actually have a little bit of notes for you guys too. Reading some of the comments, I noticed that a lot of us are struggling with mental health. And the common theme of these videos is to do the bare minimum to get started so you can build momentum later. And some have even said that keeping a journal or diving into their thoughts is a little too dangerous for them right now, which I understand. I really do. I used to be that way too. So you just have to redefine your bare minimum. But I will say this, you cannot let those things fester like for too long or it's going to explode. It'll come out one way or another. It was like everybody is different. But I think it's important that you understand that when it comes to mental health, you have to be making progress somewhere. So if you can't handle the things in your mind or you don't even know how your mind works, it was like start with a bare minimum. One thing that I did to get started, other than pray for an answer when I was still an atheist, was I researched psychology. I specifically avoided serial killer psychology and tried to learn how my own mind works. I started with small YouTube channels and little articles. I just had a passing interest in learning psychology. And sometimes it's your area, the people you're around, or whatever that's affecting your mental too. But it is important to identify and process these things because the longer you take to process it, the worse it's gonna get. So you need to find some way to process it. It's okay if right now you can't go deep in yet. But you should be making steps towards that. Because I can say from personal experience, it's going to come out one way or another. I've seen it. I've done it. You have to process it. Whatever you're using. It was like if you have to medicate, if you have to find something to help you just get your thoughts to calm down so that you could observe them at a slower pace. Because mental health, like everything else, is a skill. Breathing is a skill. But it's a skill that has to be practiced. And I feel like it's a skill that everyone should practice. If everybody practiced the skill, then I sincerely believe a lot of the problems we are looking at today wouldn't exist. You have to train yourself to think in layers. You have to you have to be willing to dive deep into those thoughts that are bothering you so much. But it's okay if you can't do that now. So find something that'll help you move towards it. Whatever that may be. With me, I had to look up, I had to have a passing interest in psychology, which got deeper as time went on. And eventually I started using those techniques on myself once I understood a little bit about how the human mind works. And there's still a lot I don't know, but I know enough that I can use techniques on myself and whatever. I like to say that a therapist's job is to teach you how your mind works and how to work with it. It was like they ask you questions, they listen, they get you to talk so that they can write, take notes, and whatever, make observations. At least that's what they're supposed to do. Some are a little too quick to give medication. So it's important to be picky with your therapist, because your mind is definitely not something you should play with. It's okay if you don't have purpose. It's okay if you don't have any of that right now. I want to make that clear. But I am going to say that you need to start making the steps towards it now. There's maybe you can't climb the whole staircase yet, and that's fine, but you can at least put your foot on the one step. You can at least start walking before you learn to run. And if you can't walk, then crawl. And if you can't crawl, wiggle. But the point is that you should be making progress. You should be asking questions. You need to ask yourself why. And when you identify why, you can identify how. Then you can identify what the real problem is. And then you can come up with a solution. But for now, if that's too much for you, I get it. So just take it one step at a time and get started however you need to. But meditation is I'm not talking about the stereotype meditation. I mean, just sitting down with your thoughts and thinking. It's real important for everyone to do. Because then they really understand who they are, what they stand for, and what they can do to get where they want to be, are supposed to be, however you word it. But take the steps now. If something is too big right now, define a bare minimum first and do that instead. It's going to take time. Might be a lot of failures along the way. But as long as you're making progress in some sort of way, that is a victory. So with that being said, I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. May God bless you in your endeavors.